Hello, and welcome to yet another enthralling virtual reality music making video. So in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit SynthVR because I actually haven't used this program for a couple of months. It's been a little while. It's all gone a little bit quiet on SynthVR, and it's because the developer has had to take a step back to just deal with some stuff. Like I think he started a new job, and he's got some stuff he's dealing with. So it's all good, and we wish him the best. But I do look forward to the day that this gets an update. But we'll be waiting here, and when it comes, it will be wild, and it will be great. So let's just have a go for an hour. I've set a timer for an hour because I've actually just booked Elaine to go swimming, because we can go swimming again now, which is nice. So I've booked Elaine to go swimming. It's Saturday. I'm going to go and do that. So I'm going to do an hour of this, and then I'm going to go swimming, because what else would you want to do on a Saturday? Exactly. Synths and swimming. That could be a new channel, couldn't it? Synths and swimming. It would be a little bit... I mean, it's not going to be very practical wearing the headset in the swimming pool, and it's presumably not going to be that practical using a synthesizer in a swimming pool, but maybe you could have synthesizers set up around a swimming pool, and what you could do is you could have people live jamming modular synthesis while you swim lengths in the pool. I mean, I think that would work quite well, don't you? Get back to me on that one. Right, so I actually think I can remember how to make sound on this. Like I say, it's been a little while. For a long time, for about 6 months, this app was the only thing I was using, pretty much. I love it. It's great. So let's just see if I can remember how to do it. So 1, 2, 3. What I'm doing here is, this is a clock, master clock, and it's got these different 8 divisions for quick kind of clock divisions. So I'm just splitting that out preemptively. Is that a word? Preemptively, just to make it so I don't need to do that later. So I'm going to come out of the clock. I can't remember how I normally did it before, but let's come out of this one into here. And then let's toggle this on. So now you can see that's pulsing now. So what I'm going to do is turn some of these off. So this is going to be my kick drum, essentially, because I pretty much always start with a kick drum. And because I'm really boring and I only make 4/4 dance music, I always start with a 4/4 kick drum, because it's the only kind of beat that you're allowed in the world, isn't it? You can't do other beats. 4/4 kick drum, mate. That's all you need. Should we go for... Oh, I already made one of those. Oh, look, see, I'm such a noob. Look, it only lets you make one of them. Cool. Right, so how do I do this again? Audio mixer. Yeah, so let's get a mixer, and let's get a... we want a drum ting. What is it? Source? Yeah, that's it. Just drums. Okay. So what we're going to do is take the trigger of this, and we're going to trigger into this, which is going to be the kick drum. And I suppose it could go there. I feel like this is going to get messy before I know it, but I suppose the kick drum can go here. Why not? Maybe I'll do a separate bit for the mixer. So let's just come out into this, and then what I'll do actually is I used to make another mixer. Was it a 71? I think. Did this fit loads of mixers in it? Does that fit too wide? I think so. So if I do audio... Sorry, I will actually make some sound in a second, if you just bear with me. I mean, you can always fast forward this bit, can't you? Well, you can just skip the entire video. That's quite a good method, I've found. If it's really getting too much, you just skip the video, and then you don't have to listen to any of it. That normally works for me. So then let's go with this and this and this. I think what I used to do was split 2 of these into another mixer, but what I could actually just do is make a where's the add? Yeah, I think this is what you did. So you did like left. Oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, this is it. I think. Did you do it like this? And then the idea of this is that you then sum this into the audio out like this, with your left and your right. And now you've got a stereo. So if I do that, it'll come out the left. If I do that, it'll come out the right. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? And then actually you've got room here. I remember this now. yeah, I used to sort of do like a double mixer setup, so actually you could put stuff into these ones as well. And I'm just doing the white and the pink to kind of white for left and pink for right, because that sort of makes sense to me. Cool. And then you got yourself a pretty big mixer, which you could even orientate like that if you wanted, I suppose. Looks like a sort of makeup cabinet, doesn't it? All right. So you got a kick. Do you like the kick? It's okay. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to make another kick, and I'm going to save it, because SynthVR is pretty solid actually. It doesn't often crash, but you never know. You never know, do you? So, okay, so what we're going to do with this kick drum is we're going to turn it down just a little bit, just because it's getting inside my head. And then what we're going to do is we're going to split the output of said kick drum. So if I do this and take that out there instead and put this into here, so all I've done is split it, so I can take this kick drum somewhere else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reverb, which is in effects, obviously, so which is the space. So let's take that and let's put this into here. Maybe you can see what I'm about to do. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a filter first. Oh my god, it's amazing how quick you forget where everything is. Okay, so then I'm going to come out of this into this. Do I need to split this again? I don't think so. No, don't think so. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? I mean, that's kind of working already. Can you do like a pre-delay on this? I don't think you can you? There's width and damp, which is like a color. That's the mix. So actually, yeah, we want it on full, and that's the size. I might actually try a different. Maybe that one. It's not got much bass to it though, that kick, has it? It's quite like snappy. This is the very definition of faffing, is what I'm doing here. I'm faffing. I don't know. I'm not super happy with that, but let's just go with that for now. So that's a kick drum with like a sort of rumble thing going on. I guess what would be really good is if you had a compressor. I think that's the main thing. One of the main units I would like is a simple compressor with a side chain on it, because I can probably work out a way to do this with an envelope, but it's just a bit of a pain. And it would be so good for making just your average techno sort of nonsense if you could sidechain stuff easily. But let's not worry about that for now. Let's do some hi-hats of some description. So I'm going to take the clock division of, I mean, I could go 4. Is that going to be enough? Maybe I'll go 2 actually, to make it extra fast. Is this good? Oh, you need to run these in sequence as well, don't you? Because if you don't sync them, then you have a nightmare. So how did we do this? We did it. I think you have to actually have a manual. This is the stuff that I forget about SynthVR, you see. It's the stuff that's really obvious when you're using it all the time, but when you sort of step away for a bit, you kind of forget. So, where's the split? There it is. Cool. Right, so that's going to go into this, and then we're going to split this, reset. Is it the restart we want? I think. So basically, this is going to need to be. I'll make these pink, because why not? So the restarts are going to be pink. I think you used to use a sequencer actually to do this. Never mind. Let's just. Is that good? They're in sync now, aren't they? I don't know. They look kind of out of sync. And that's way too slow. We actually want this to be coming out of maybe the 8. Is that right? That's still slow. Maybe the 1 then. Yeah. Or maybe it is the 2. Oh, that's better. I think you came out after 6 or something. Because we want that to be faster in total. Alright, I think that's about right. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. Okay. So get some drums. So I remember when you didn't have these drum modules, you had to make every individual sound. It used to take so long. I would still like to see. I'd like to see some. You know, if you could load your own samples in, would obviously make it a lot more exciting. And what you can do here actually is you could use the pitch, because the pitch is just the value of these, right? So if you take the pitch and we make that the volume, then you can actually do some kind of like velocity kind of changes here. And I might make this faster. Like that. Let's turn this. I always find the volumes of these quite hard to get right. Is that actually changing the volume? Oh, you need to put the range up. I mean, I quite like that, actually. That's quite good, isn't it? Right. So let's now do, I'm going to have a dry signal of these hats, and then I'm also going to have an effective version. So if I do, just turn it a little bit, if I do a split, and then rather than coming straight out, I'm going to go into this, and then what we can do is have like an effect, which will be a delay, which is called the echo on this. So one of these will come to here, and then actually I'm going to put the amount, no, that's not the right one, mix up like this, and I'm going to put this into this. I'm going to turn it the hell down because it's going to be mega loud. But what I might actually do is do a filter on this, maybe? I should maybe filter this whole thing actually, just to cut out the lows. So let's do that. So that's going to come out of here into just to get rid of that mud in the bottom. My name is Mud. Remember that track? Another filter on the top of this. I think if I do individual filters, I might do a filter. So rather than having it like, yeah, so we've got a low. I don't know, maybe it should be the low, then the high. Dry at all. That's because of the filter. Maybe I should have it separate then. Maybe I should have. Yeah. So let's keep this as this. I don't know actually. Now what I'm saying is that we'll have Sorry, I'm just completely talking to myself here. This is going to go into this. And then we're going to have a separate one, separate filter. It's all about layers, mate. It's all about layers. So then we're going to have this one as a separate filter. So this is the delayed hats. Song in here somewhere. Just go with me. Okay, so that's kind of some hat action. What I'm going to do now is create a rack, which I should have done in the first place, and slip all this into it. In the future, it would be so good if you could like group stuff. You could just say, right, you know, like I'm sure it'd be an absolute nightmare to program it in, but just to sort of take a mess like this and say, put that into a rack for me, and just grab it, auto rack. Kind of like you're just grouping a bunch of objects, but I mean, actually, it wouldn't even need to be racked if you could just group them. Because sometimes you just want all the objects to be like all the objects in one place. You want to be able to suddenly move them somewhere else, but the only way to do that is to put them onto a rack at the moment. So it'd be cool if you could, you know, brush around the ones you want to grab or something, like a lasso tool or something. Lasso, yeah, something like that. Alright, cool, so that's in like that. Okay, alright, what's next? Let's do, what I might do is just put a little subtle LFO onto this filter, just to give it a little bit of movement. Quite happy with that though, it's quite a nice little sound that's going on here. So, okay, that's quite good actually. It's not even in sync, but it works. And then what you can do is you can also do like an LFO for the other one. Put a slower one on that. A bit of reverb on these hats as well. What do you think? You could put a bit of reverb on. But what you could do is have so get a mix like this, and then do no, that's not what I want to do. What do I want to do? I want to do maybe this. I want to kind of send some dry, some wet. So again, I think the best way to do that is just to just split it like this. There is that other mixer, isn't there, which I hardly ever use, Prime Mix. Oh, this could do what I want to do, I think. So if I go, this is going to be A and B, which is the first. So these are going to be like my dry signals, which I've just completely mixed up now. And what I'm going to do is turn all these down. I think all these should be down as a default. That would make sense to me. Or maybe there should be a 0 button just to get it all down for you. Just, it's nice to start the bass line with it, I think, so you know where you are. So this one's going to go into here. And then what we're going to do is turn up. So they're just going as they were. But what I can do now is send those same signals to a bit of reverb, which is what I'll do. And what I will do, just to make it a bit more interesting, is actually I'll have C going into left and D going into right, and then what we can do is have those coming into a separate thing of the mixer here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I think it is. But you need to turn up now these signals. mix in a bit of the others so that you're actually getting a stereo mix. Be nice to sidechain that, wouldn't it? Cool. I spent on this so far, I think, so let me have a look, add up the timer going. We've already done 20 minutes just on the kick drum and the hats, so 39 minutes left. Alright, well let's do something else then. Maybe just do one last bit of drummage, which is going to be some kind of percussion or something, I guess. Yeah, maybe like a tom or something, just to kind of fill it out. So let's go another one of these fast ones and toggle that up. And then what we'll do is we'll do a reset so that we can get that in sync. Yeah, I think what you used to do is create a sequencer that constantly sends a reset every 8 bars or something. I think that's how you used to handle this reset, but it doesn't matter, I can do it manually, it's fine. Okay. So, how are you doing today? I am fine, thank you. Right, so what I'm going to do here is trigger this into here. And then this one, I don't think this one's going to need any fancy splitting or anything. I think I'm just going to go straight in with this one. But I am going to do some delay, I think. So I do some echo and then space it as well. So maybe like an out into this. And then this is just going to come straight. I mean, you could go into this. Could you add that to the mix? Would that be alright? Do you need to do that? You don't need to do it, but you could do it. Nah, let's not bother with that. Let's not bother with that. Ooh, that's once you did that, wow, that really hits the limiter, doesn't it, when you fire a kick drum through at that sort of speed. Maybe a pitch. On it as well. sequence. And then actually what I could do, I could use the same timing as this. So what we could do here is just actually take the clock here and just bosh that in there like that. And same with the restart, to be honest. I could just do that as well. Like, why not? It's just kind of saving cables. Sync it up. I like that. Boop, 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 boop. It's got a good groove to it, hasn't it? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. What am I doing here? Just a clap. Just a clap. Yeah. Okay. So trigger. Which I think the claps and stuff for this one. I'm gonna try this one, and then just bring that in over here. Whoa. Yeah, you might want to turn some of these down. I think we want it like that. Why is it doing it so many times? What have you messed up here? Why is that doing it so much? I think you've done the wrong thing here. Why won't that work anymore? Oh, it's because... Oh, sorry, I'm being an idiot. These need to be on, I think. But you need to turn these off, is it? Is that right?
colored noise.
moment I feel like we're missing like an offbeat hi-hat or something. So let's do that. Where are we? Let's do it up here. Why not? Let's do it. So, sequencing. Do another sequencer. See, that was a completely different rhythm. Pressing it once, it goes kind of offbeat. That's what I like. There we go. I'm just going to do literally straight in. Oh, that's kind of on the offbeat, isn't it? That's interesting. That's not the timing I want. Okay. This is where I keep messing this up. like jamming out stuff like this, especially kind of like sort of weird techno stuff or whatever, where like structure isn't that important. Obviously, I'm not saying that techno doesn't have structure, but I mean, you know, if it's quite chaotic, you can just jump around hitting random buttons on sequences and stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun. It'd just make it a lot quicker to like jam stuff out. But anyway, where are we at? Is this the filter I want to automate? I think so. that's the snare, isn't it? I don't know if I'm low passing that. I might just low pass that. Oh no. Like that. And then these splits are going to go into something else and then come back into this add. So I'll do a space like this. Stereo filter would be useful. Hold on a minute. No, you've done it right. Maybe you need to put some low passes on these as well. Yeah, some like compressor would be so useful because you could just slam stuff in, like your bus effects, slam them into a compressor or whatever, and then just stop stuff from getting so overwhelmed. obviously these are still playing because I went kind of pre-mixed for them, but I can turn them down like that. So really, there's something else I can still hear. It's hard to zero these out sometimes. So what we've achieved in an hour, well, a mess is what we've achieved, but what we've achieved is this kind of kick drum here. We've got this kind of rumble thing, which kind of works. It's probably a little bit too rumbly, like I'd probably want to like, if ideally, if I could sidechain that, which you could probably do using an amp and an envelope, but I'm not going to attempt it now because I've done enough time. Yeah, I'd probably scoop that out, so every time that kick hits, it would scoop the rumble a little bit, but it kind of works. So without the rumble, you just got that. With the rumble, you got that, yeah. And then this is kind of a hi-hat. I mean, to be fair, this is the real hi-hat, isn't it? I mean, that and that together works quite nicely, actually, I think. And that's some reverb for your hi-hat. I do feel like the range between 0 and audible is very it's very tight. And I'm sure there's a scientific reason for that I don't know. But it'd be nice if there was a bit more sensitivity between that range. Which is why I use this amp, actually, to try and tame that down a bit. Because sometimes you just want a tiny bit, and this doesn't give you the control you need. So that's like a bass line. So obviously I could have sequenced the pitch on this, but sometimes you don't need to sequence the pitch, you know, if you just... And again, it'd be nice to sidechain that bottom low end, that rumble would be nice to sidechain that off. And then we got this, whatever the hell this is. This is like a... I guess you can change the volume on the synth itself here. Yeah, we got this thing. It's probably the most interesting effects on SynthVR is using the echo and just messing with the time, which is a very old trick, isn't it, for creating these glitchy effects. But in the absence of many effects, I found this is a good place to start if you want to create some weird effects. It's very easy to overload it though as well, for sure. And once you overload it, you'll hear that limiter slamming everything. Yeah, and the way to combat that limiter is just to have all your mixes much lower than this. So mix everything at a much lower volume, but then bring in your volume on your sound card or whatever if you need to hear it better. So anyway, I'm just gonna bring everything back in. So I can't remember what this is. Is this like... Is that... Oh, that's the same as this hi-hat. I think that's like the reverb bit of the hi-hat, isn't it? I think. It's so easy to get lost in what you're doing, isn't it? Especially when you start in such a mess. Anyway. I do like this. I think that's my favourite. It really reminds me of Mario. And if you've played much of Mario, especially the old school ones, I think you'll know what I mean. Is it like, are they in the cave? And it's boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Bowser's gonna come and fuck up your shit. reflect on this special moment. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to upload this as is, so people can come and have a play if they want. I might just leave it like that. Just going to leave these down, so people will have to come and work it out. What you'll walk into if you come here, a mess. I'm going to call it a mess. Let's call it a mess. So here we go, note to self. Can you make this bigger? Yes, you can. A mess. A mass for the mess. So bring yourself in to the mess and have some fun. And don't be a stranger. Let me know if you watched this. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to do something in SynthVR. I was actually thinking we could do like another Pass the Patch kind of thing, or some kind of collaborative sort of spiel. So let me know if you want to do something like that. I'm always willing to try. So cool. Alright, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to upload it. That's what I'm going to do. Save. How do you do it again? You discover? Share. I'm sure. Let's do it. Here we go. I don't know where we are now. What numbers are we at? We must be pretty high by now. 292. Okay, well, there you go. If you want to have a play with this one, it's 292. Alright, see you later.